here with Humane Borders. Today we are doing a water run. This is an amazing organization. We have a water station out at the border wall. And something that has been so insightful for me on this trip is learning about the border wall and the impact that it has on the environment. Can you tell me a little bit about how this is tearing through protected lands and its impact on the environment?
Yeah, so actually this is a great example where we are here. Just down the road there is a mountain where historically it was just deemed too much trouble to put the wall across the mountain. So there were people that felt like by circumventing the mountain we were ceding land, U.S. land, to Mexico. And so now what's happening is they are blasting through this mountain to be able to lay the wall straight through. However, that mountain is historically a sacred burial site for our indigenous population.
Something I want to mention I'm from Texas, something I've been learning about is this is also happening in Big Bend National Park right now, and this is very concerning. That has been protected land for a long time. There are groups out there right now trying to stop this before it happens. For the border wall here, it is filled with cement. Can you explain that and explain how it affects the water in the ground?
Absolutely. So all of these bollards are hollow. When they put in a section, it's about a section of 8, and they'll clip it in, and a cement truck will go down and fill from the top. But bubbles happen, human error happens, things get missed. So what happens when someone is trying to find a place to cut through, they've spent about $45 getting a saw. They're going to pick up a big rock and they're going to go down tapping them kind of like they're playing a xylophone. They're going to hit one that's hollow, and that's where they cut. It takes about 15 minutes to cut through. You push it, you run everybody through, you pull it back. If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never see it. It takes a lot of cement to do this wall road, to do the foundation, just to get it up the first time. It is constant maintenance, however, because the desert is very good at cleaning itself, and it does not want this here. It disrupts the flow of water, it disrupts animal migration. So you will see the road buckling, the foundation buckling, the bollards starting to come down. All of that cement takes a ton of water. Aquifers do not pay attention to arbitrary borders drawn on maps. We share an aquifer with a town right on the other side of the wall that lives on a knife's edge, and we are draining their resources, literally.
Can you tell me about the impact that it has on wildlife in this area?
Yeah. So people would be surprised at the kind of wildlife diversity that we have down here. We have bears. We have pictures of bears trying to scale this wall and getting stuck up at the top. Our javelinas can't run through. It's a big problem with our big cats. So a healthy ecosystem has healthy apex predators at the top. We are in desperate need to restore our apex predator population, so like our jaguars. I believe right now we have 1 documented. You need at least 2 to start to build up that population. This disrupts their migration route. The mountain lions, it disrupts their migration route. The water flow. When water can't flow through here, incredible environmental damage that happens that also is going to impact all of our wildlife.
Can you tell me about the water tanks and the significance of them?
Yeah, so well, to start with, blue is the international symbol for water. That's why our tanks and our flags are blue. We always put our logo on there, and we also put a sticker of the Virgin of Guadalupe. She's a cultural symbol that says you've made a good choice, you're on the right path. We are agua para todos. Our water is for all. It doesn't matter if you're a migrant or a hiker or Border Patrol. I have had calls from Border Patrol. I talked to a guy about a year ago, and he told me, you know, I've been out here doing search and rescue for 15 years. Said he got out there on a search and rescue mission and realized he had left his water bottle. not bartenders out here. Our water is for everyone. There is not a worse way to die than through exposure and dehydration in this desert. It is brutal. And it can happen so quickly. You can be fine one minute and not the next.
And these water tanks are literally the difference between life and death for the people who are facing the elements and running out of water in the desert.
As you can see, there are people that just come out and play in our borderlands. We get hikers, backpackers, bike packers, equestrians, ATVers, UTVers. This is our home. This is not an isolated area where we are. This is where we all live and work.
Another point that I want to make about this amazing organization is it is bipartisan. This is not Republicans versus Democrats. It's everybody has come together, and the access to water is a human right. Nobody deserves to die in the desert from lack of water and from exposure to elements. Can you tell me about how people can get involved if they want to make a difference and help your cause?
Absolutely. I would say that the first most important thing is to educate yourself about what migration really looks like, who is really migrating. What you're seeing on the news is probably information that's like 20, 25 years old. If you're thinking of, migrants with backpacks coming through the desert with drugs, that's just not the case anymore, and that is direct from the mouth of Border Patrol. What you are seeing is only the most desperate of people from the most desperate situations coming through this route. So educate yourself, because that means that you can educate your community. I can't be everywhere, and there are rooms that I am never going to be in, but you can. And it starts with fear. Fear breeds hate, and then hate is what people base their policy on. They're voting. You get your fear from ignorance. Once you understand someone and you make that human connection, that fear evaporates. And then we can come to a place where we can view this as not a migration crisis. Human beings have been migrating for thousands and thousands of years. Is what keeps us alive. What we have is a humanitarian crisis. So educate yourself, educate your community, and please donate to us. Gas is getting really expensive, so every single water run that we do is a minimum of $150 now. But we have all kinds of other expenses. We have lots of other programming that we do to educate, to inform policymakers, because Humane Borders is not just about making this one border safe and humane and dignified. Making safe borders around the world means a healthy border at the U.S. So donate to us, and that doesn't always mean money. One of the best donations that I ever got was an artist just emailed us out of nowhere, and he said, I don't live there, I can't go out on water runs with you, but this is what I can give you. And he gave me this beautiful piece of art, and I put it on everything. It's on shirts, it's on bags, it's on tote bags and hats, and what a beautiful gift. He tapped into his passion and his skill and found a way to support us. So I would say, find your passion and your skill and see how it can work for us or another nonprofit.
You guys can find more information on Humane Borders, how you can donate and how you can get involved at humaneborders.com, or check them out on social media. They are